Hello, and welcome to Season 13, Episode 153 of the Cartridge Club's Game of the Month podcast, where we bring together members of the Cartridge Club community to discuss our monthly playthrough. If you're new to the club or are interested in participating in future months, please join our community Discord or follow us on Twitter/X and Bluesky at Cartridge Club NA. We love to see the hashtag Cartridge Club used whenever you talk about one of the games we've selected. I'm Captain Algebra, and on behalf of our rotating pool of hosts, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Additionally, on behalf of the entire Cartridge Club community, I'd like to give a huge shout out to our Patreon Club backers, Joel Boyce and Buried on Mars. Thank you all so much. You're such an integral part of why we can do this each and every month. So May is Star Wars month for the Cartridge Club, and this year we played Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Joining me to talk about the game are Fitgnat.
Hello.
J-Chip.
Hello.
And a newcomer to the Cartridge Club, Bargain Bin Hobo.
This ain't no place for no hobo.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I know Fitgnat and J-Chip, you guys are old pros at this now. In fact, Fitgnat, this is your third year in a row on a Star Wars podcast. So
Yep.
anytime Star Wars comes up, I'm like, all right, I know Fitgnat can do it. So we're going to start out just kind of with your history with The Force Unleashed. Did you manage to beat the game this month? And then what version did you play? J-Chip, we're going to start with you.
So I remember seeing this game in magazines on like Game Informer, and for the longest time, I thought this was not going to be on PlayStation 2 or anything like that because that's the only system I had at the time. So I was kind of bummed out that it wasn't coming to PS2. And then later on down when I was in like high school, I was living at my cousin's house for a while, and he had it for PS2, and I was like, "You son of a bitch! I could have had that." And I played it for a bit, and it was okay. Just, I was kind of more used to the games like Call of Duty at the time, so I just wasn't into that at that time. And then later on down the line, the interest kind of just wore off, especially after I played the Jedi games. But ever since it was a nominee for Game of the Month, I went and got the PS3 version.
Nice.
And I played it through here, and I did finish it.
Sweet. Awesome. Fitgnat, how about you?
So I don't know how I never really ended up playing the original game, like at the time for the most part. I was always familiar with it, but this is the first time I've really sat down and played like past the first one or two levels of it.
Oh, wow.
Like past like the Nar Shaddaa. And I played the whole thing, and we'll get into how I felt about that later. But surprisingly, I did at some point play through the entire sequel without beating the first one, and I thought it was just okay, but I'm curious how I would think about it in comparison to the first one now.
Awesome. And Hobo?
Well, so my first introduction to Force Unleashed was the PSP version, and I heard about it. I just can't quite remember exactly how, ads or whatever, but I got it when I got hit by a car one day, so that was fun. It's a whole other saga. But we went to Walmart after my mom took me home from the hospital. Amazingly didn't break any bones. And she gave me, they had a clearance, I had that game on clearance, so she got it for me. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. But I wound up later getting the PS2 version because I like to play on a TV more. And then several years later, I was in college, and I would just rent games from my local library. One of them was the PS3 Force Unleashed. I play like, wow, it's the same game? This is awesome. And I played multiple versions, the Wii version. Oh, also, the Wii version has an option. You can swap the A and B buttons for jump and attack. So, yeah, that was cool. I did also play the DS version, but it's like really touch-based. So you have to just tap which button on the touch screen to use what attack. So that's kind of lame.
I can get into that one.
Yeah, I actually really do enjoy this game, but more on that later. But yeah, yes.
Sweet. Awesome. And for me, I remember when it came out, it looked really cool. I heard really good things about it. All the different force powers looked awesome to use. But I didn't play it right away. I eventually got it on the Wii. So I did play through it, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now, all the way through the Wii version. And the Wii version is fine. But I had no idea that like the 360 and the PS3 were different. So when this came around this month, I found a copy on the 360, started playing it, got roughly halfway through, and then my disc started to stop reading. So it was right before you have to go to Bestman, and it'd start loading up the level, and it said disc is unreadable, and my disc is like flawless. So I have no idea what's going on with it. So then I had to rush and try to find a PS2 version because I haven't played that one yet. Fortunately, my store had a loose copy, but I don't like loose games in my collection. So I just asked like, hey, can I borrow this for a week? And fortunately, they just let me bring it home. I played through it, really had a lot of fun with it. And then I returned it back once I was done with it. But yeah, I have also played the sequel. I remember liking that. I actually played the sequel on the 360. And yeah, I thought it was solid, but again, it's been years since I played it, so I can't really say too much about Force Unleashed 2. I'll have to play through it again, but my goal is to eventually play through the other versions as well. Like, even though the DS one is touchscreen, I want to play through that. I really want to get another copy of either the 360 or the PS3 one so I can play through that version. Most likely I'd rather get 360 so I could hopefully just start where I left off instead of having to start the game all the way over, but we'll see what happens. All right, Hobo, why don't you tell us a little bit about the story of this game?
So the story of Force Unleashed takes place between Star Wars Episode 3 and 4, and Lord Vader is just, kind of going about his day, living his best life, hacking down his own troops and Wookiees and what have you. And he finds the Jedi he's after, and they fight, and he wins. But before he dispatches the Jedi, he finds the Jedi's son, who has great but untapped Force powers, so he whisks the boy away and trains him to be his apprentice, to be his secret weapon. However, so yes, our guy named Starkiller, he starts off on the wrong side, but does he stay that way?
Very nice. All right, so what did you guys think about the story? Did you like it? Was it okay? I mean, me personally, I don't care too much about story in video games. So like, it was fine, but it's not what I play a game for. Fitgnat, we're gonna start with you.
What story? I'm kidding. It's not
Me
it's
lying.
not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just a significantly shorter narrative than like we experienced with the Jedi games. It was I forgot that it's been a while since I've played a game that it was from that era. So it's like, man, I forgot how bare these stories can be.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, that let me down a little bit. And I tried to read the novelization, but I got to like the third chapter, and that just takes you through the fight with Ram Kota. So it's just basically the same thing with a lot of extra stuff and internal monologue added. I might like it better had I actually, read it, but
Right.
I didn't give myself the time to actually finish the thing.
Yeah. J-Chip, what about you?
I mean, what Fitgnat said is absolutely true. I mean, the story is like there, but like not really. I think the idea of playing as like the bad guy is very interesting, but it's just not expanded upon as it could be. And that's really about it.
Right. Hobo, how'd you feel about the story?
So I kind of see what these other two are saying, and they do have a valid point. But for me, it's like I kind of liked the story. I liked seeing how Starkiller kind of grows and kind of how he like starts to branch off and do other things with his teammates, the pilot Juno and his droid Proxy. Although, speaking of, it might be easier to listen to the audiobook of the novel instead of read it because it also has all the sound effects and does the different voices. So it's actually very well done. I'm listening to it currently.
Nice.
I do agree that it's not the most amazing story in a Star Wars game on PS2 even, but I mean, it's enough reason for the events to be happening. So, I can dig it.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's refreshing to go back to an older console and have a short game like this. I think my play time was like 7 hours, which is much different than Fallen Order and Survivor that we did the last 2 years. So with a game like that, you're going to have a little bit less story. But I thought it was interesting, putting it in between episode 3 and episode 4, right? Is that what you said, Hobo? 3 and 4? Yeah. At that point, there wasn't a ton known about that era, so it felt good to kind of learn about it, even though I think it's not they took it away from canon, right? So it's not actually something that really happened, which is disappointing because I thought it was super, super cool. But I mean, it's story at the end of the day. Gameplay is what matters. Now there aren't a ton of characters in the game. We already mentioned Starkiller. He's the protagonist or antagonist. Proxy is kind of your droid who's there to help you. You get Juno to help fly you around. And then General Ram Kota actually has a big part of the story as well. And then obviously Darth Vader is a big part of it too, since he's the one who is your master and you're learning from him and stuff like that. So with this relatively small cast of characters, other than like the bosses and stuff like that, any thoughts on the characters?
Any particular person or
whoever wants to go can go?
All right, so I actually kind of liked how the characters kind of play off each other. Like small spoiler, but Ram Koda is the first boss you fight once you take control of Star Killer. And as you're about to beat him, he goes, "Wait, I don't see Vader. See me?" Then you blind him and throw him down on the planet. You find him drunk in a bar later. He doesn't seem to recognize you. But I actually really like, you have the conflicting things going on. Like Star Killer's kind of seeing what the dark side is actually doing, and he's kind of starting to see that there's more going on that he has been, kept from, that now that he's away from Vader, he's starting to see this more. And so it kind of makes the final choice a little bit more impactful once you finally reach the end and you've seen how both sides play and you get to choose which side Star Killer takes. So I thought the cast was really cool. Like they play off each other, and then the brief hint of romance between Star Killer and Juno at the very end, was kind of shoehorned in, but I liked it.
Anyway, so even though I'm kind of just giving some crap to the story and everything, I actually did really like the main cast of the game, and that's kind of part of why I was disappointed by it, because I kind of wanted more out of that. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about each individual character. I just liked what they did with them. Koda is a good kind of mentor character, and Starkiller is fine. It's Sam Witwer, so you can't really go wrong, but they didn't do a ton with him either. Juno is there. And not the fault of the voice actress or anything. They just didn't do anything really with her other than the have her be the love interest kind of sorta.
Right, which wasn't needed.
No. But that's clearly why she was there from the beginning of the game. I also actually did really enjoy Proxy. He's a fun droid character.
Yeah, Proxy was probably my favorite character out of the original characters outside of the legacy characters that show up. Kind of like what the other two said. The characters are fine, in my opinion. Proxy is the only one I would say is somewhat memorable because his personality kind of shines. Outside of that, they're okay. They're not bad. They're Star Wars characters,
Yeah. And we've talked about this before on other Star Wars podcasts. Vader is my favorite character, so to have him in a game is always going to be cool. I kind of like seeing him as a master and kind of teaching Starkiller what to do and stuff. I was okay with that, even though he was kind of, but basically playing Starkiller the whole time. Wasn't really truthful about what was going on. But yeah, Juno, that relationship, as soon as they kissed towards the end of the game, I'm like, really? Is that necessary at all? I get why you're doing it, but not every game or movie or show has to have love interests and stuff. It's okay to have that without it. So it is what it is.
Although, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say that if you read the novel, it kind of gives Juno more screen time separate from everybody else, kind of fleshes out her character and backstory and how she's connected to Vader. So I haven't finished the book yet. I'm really early into it. I'm kind of at the point where he just got back from killing Shakti. But yeah, I think we've all kind of on the same terms in that they're Star Wars characters. They serve their purpose and not much else. You're really just going to remember the movie characters most and foremost.
Right. Yeah. That would have been nice if Juno could have been more thought out in the game.
I can actually speak to that fleshing out of Juno in the novel, because that was one of the 3 chapters I read. Yeah, but I liked how much more they gave to her in that second chapter, during her intro. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd be curious to see what they did later. But actually, one more note I'll have on basically all the female characters in the game, except for 2 guest appearances at the very end. But this speaks more to the era that this game released in. Just cleavage all the way down. Every single character, every single female character is just low-cut tops or just borderline jungle bikini. And it's just it's just funny sort of going back to that era. It's wow, they really were just doing that the entire time.
Yeah, right. Ain't lying.
If I remember correctly, right?
Boss fight that starts with Juno, and then it turns out, it's not Juno, it's the shapeshifter. Then she turns back into Juno, trying to trick you.
Yeah, and if I remember for Juno, she starts off in her full Imperial garb, right? Her
That's
regular
Proxy. That's Proxy showing her her
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
her profile.
Yes, that's it. But then, yeah, she pretty much just has the cleavage out the entire time. So,
I mean, are we complaining about this? We're a bunch of guys here. Let's be fair.
I mean, there's really a difference between like having a character that's sexy and having a character that's sexualized. And sexualization was just kind of the
Norm.
norm of that era, and it's just kind of tiresome.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm laughing at it, but it is just kind of an unfortunate trait of the era.
It is. That's fair. I agree.
Yeah,
I
and you
don't
can't
mind
help
it,
but
I see
notice
what
it.
you're saying.
Yeah,
Like it's literally right there.
Yeah. You literally can't see it. You can't miss it unless you're blind.
Yeah. All right.
unless you're Ron Coda.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that's fair. Whoops, sorry.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay then. Now, this is where the differences are going to be a little bit more pronounced between the games. I know like the PS2 and Wii versions have some different levels and stuff like that. So we'll get to that as we talk about it. But the main idea is you're going through different stages, honing your force powers and getting more powerful and being able to do more and more. So the main force powers, you could force choke, you could use lightning, you could push, you could grip, you could use a lightsaber throw, you could do a maelstrom, you could repulse, and you could I got force grip on there twice. I don't know why. Oh well, ignore that. Was there a certain force power or force powers that you kind of used more often than others?
Lightning.
Lightning and throw. Those are especially just fun to just pick up a guy and just yeet him off the cliff. Here's some free air miles. Yeet!
Yeah, when there was a big group of guys, like I would try to throw as many as I could off the cliff just to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah. It's fun to just like pick up a box and just throw it at a guy, or like pick up like little turret and just shoot for a while and then just throw that. They did let you play with the force powers, but they could have taken it a little further.
Yeah.
My favorite was always when you're going against like the walkers and like the bigger enemies, and you do like this crush ability with the lightning powers.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool way to get them down easier.
So it definitely seems like we all like lightning, and that was the same thing for me. That was the first thing I kind of upgraded. And again, the upgrade system is a little bit different as well in both games. So there's Jedi holocrons, and I think in the PS2 and Wii one, there's like 20 per level, but the other versions have 15, I think. And if I remember correctly from when I played the 360 version, each holocron did something different. Like sometimes it would be a lightsaber crystal, sometimes it'd be a lightsaber color, and sometimes it was points to use for upgrading. Is that correct?
I think so. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas in the PS2 version, everything was points that goes towards your force upgrades, and you could find other. You could actually find the lightsaber crystals, the lightsaber hilts in the level. They weren't like separate holocrons. So that was a little bit different. I'm trying to think of. There were some combos you could do as you upgraded stuff, and there was one I really liked that was always in putting lightning and pushing together. So there was on the PlayStation, it was like triangle was push and circle was lightning. So one of the maneuvers I would do is like triangle circle, and then one was circle triangle. They both did different things, but it both employed lightning and stuff, which I really liked. You could also press circle 3 times in a row. That would just kind of throw a barrage of lightning at everybody. That was really fun to use. Were there any other combos you guys could think of that you liked using?
I think there was one particular combo where like you could like put lightning into your lightsaber and just like do this like mega slash with it. Or like you just zap a guy and then throw your saber at him. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although
I pretty much use that lightning combo a lot because especially like the big robots that you have to take down, not like the walkers, but like the big kind of purge trooper things. I don't remember what they were specifically called.
Yeah.
Those things were just a pain in the ass, and I just lightninged them until they were dead because I didn't want to deal with them anymore.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I will say about the gameplay, like, or this is kind of the main difference between the two is that the HD versions, PS3, Xbox 360, in my opinion, and I know there's people disagree with this, it's in my opinion a genuine action hack and slash where you actually get points as you fight. You just level up. Okay, here's some points for this, and this. Whereas it's just a plain Jane hack and slash on the PS2. Now both are very good in my opinion. Oh, and brief side tangent. If you're wondering what the Switch version is, it's the Wii version, and you can use motion controls with the Joy-Cons, but you don't have to. And I think it's a perfectly fine game.
I will say I really like choking the people. Like when there was like one person left, I would hold them in the air and choke them. That was kind of It felt good to do sometimes, especially when you got done with a big fight and people are annoying you. I will say any of the enemies with jetpacks were the bane of my existence. I could not stand them. Anybody else get annoyed by those enemies?
Oh yeah.
That's just a common thing in games. Flying enemies are just a pain in the ass, regardless of what game.
Right, and you couldn't throw them because they have their jetpacks.
Yeah,
and whenever there was a lot of them on screen, it was just super annoying.
I was kind of hoping there was an ability where you can like throw your lightsaber at them, but I don't think there is one.
I mean, there's Impale. I don't think I ever actually used it on jetpack enemies, so I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah.
I don't think I used Impale at all.
Yeah, same. I can't remember it either.
That's one thing. Like, it's cool that there's so many different forces that you can use, but honestly, at times I felt like it was too much because there was so many that I just didn't ever touch.
Yeah, really.
And it would have been nice to have a little bit smaller amount. That way I could feel like I could use them all more often.
Or like things to incentivize you to use such and such power. Like, I understand, like, if you like this power, okay, use that more. But if you like this other power, you can ignore it. Kind of lets you play the way you like to. And I'm all for that. But it would have been nice to either, incentivize us to use those other powers or limit the powers we have. But honestly, I kind of think that both methods are valid. And I knew what I liked. I didn't use the other stuff. And I think that's what everybody does.
I was just going to say that my general tactic was just to cheese everything as much as possible because I found a lot of the enemies annoying and I just wanted to get past them. But I do agree that there was a little much in terms of the combos and everything that you could unlock, because you get down some of that list and you get to the point where you've only got a few left and it's like, I don't even care about these air combos at all. Yep. Just I'll pick whatever because I got to spend these points, but that's it.
Yeah. And I found myself every time I turn the game back on, I would have to look back through my force powers. And on the PS2, there's a button you press for information that tells you how to use them. I had to remind myself how to use certain things just because there were so many of them and I forgot what to do.
Yeah.
I was looking at the list again. Maelstrom, I don't think I used once. What's the Maelstrom? Does anyone
It's basically like a big shockwave. Like if you get like boxed in, you just like blow everything out. Also, I thought that was just on the Wii version. I don't remember it being on PS2, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played that particular one.
Like I said, maybe it's not on PS2 because, like I said, I didn't use it. Now, what's the difference then between Maelstrom and Repulse? Because Repulse, you kind of throw everybody away from you.
I think Maelstrom also adds lightning to it.
Got it. So did the PS3 versions have that?
I think it did, yeah.
I think so.
I remember Repulse, but I don't remember Maelstrom. And I actually looked at the spelling there because I'm like, are you mispronouncing Maelstrom or is it actually Maelstrom? But no, it's Maelstrom.
Right.
I have no idea. That must be a PS2
falling down from the sky.
All right. Well, I think anything else we want to talk about the force powers?
Although sometimes it is fun to like throw boxes of stuff into TIE fighters as they fly by. That was actually one of the submissions. Also, real quick, one of my favorite trophy titles ever is at right at the beginning when you're Darth Vader. If you kill enough stormtroopers, you get a trophy. Worst day manager ever.
I will say something with the one thing I didn't like about the game was obviously like it would highlight for you what you were going to force push or hold or attack, whatever. It didn't always work well because like you obviously have enemies you want to attack. But like when I was trying to pick up a box or pick up something to throw at them, sometimes like they were too close and it targeted them instead. And so I didn't think they did a good job of being able to like really focus what you wanted to target on. Did anyone else have that issue?
Yeah, auto targeting can be a real jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially for one specific mission. Like towards the end, I found that to be a really big issue.
Yeah.
But, does it involve TIE fighters? Because I feel like it involves TIE fighters.
Yes, with all the TIE fighters that are coming out.
Yep. Like, I love the idea of taking those TIE fighters out, but it just didn't work that well.
I mean, visually, it's the coolest part of the game, but, outside of that.
In the Xbox 360 version, in that scene where you have to, like, bring the entire Star Destroyer down on the factory, it took me a while to finally figure out how to actually do it, and then kept getting shot at. Finally got it. I was like, finally. It was a cool scene, but it was annoying to get it to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of a running theme with why I didn't end up liking the game by then, where it's like, let's take one of the coolest ideas you've ever seen and make it an absolute pain in the ass.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, we've got this great idea to bring down the Star Destroyer. It's like, okay, make it impossible to get all the TIE fighters, have the ship right itself while you're trying to take those things out, and then make it take forever to take down when you actually finally get a hold on it.
See, there's a positive for the PS2 version. That's all a cutscene. Like, you don't actually take down the Star Destroyer in the PS2 version. You just watch it happen.
Yeah.
Straight improvement.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, if they did that right, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
That's basically my short review for the entire game. If they did it right.
Nice.
And speaking of which, and I actually do give the game some credit because like it's clearly very ambitious for the time with what it wanted to do. There's not a lot of Star Wars games that were like this before this came out, and you don't get the Jedi games without this. So like I'm crapping on it a lot, but you do have to give it some credit. But at the same time, one of its most ambitious things is also its worst enemy, the physics engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about the physics engine. Tell us how you felt about that, Fitgnat.
It's a great idea in concept, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like the physics engine killed more enemies on Kashyyyk than I did. Like, it's such a good idea, but it was just such a pain in the ass so much of the time, unfortunately. Like, you mentioned like how cool it is to throw the boxes, but I think this is primarily a PC problem, but which is where I played it. But like sometimes you'd grab a box and it would just go, whoop, I'm in the stratosphere now. Just like it's just gone. You can't use this because it's no longer here.
Yeah. The PC versions can be funny in that way. They have glitches you'll never see on the console.
Yeah, if you're going to play this game on PC, I didn't actually play this version, but from everything I was reading while trying to fix the Steam version, go for the GOG version. Yeah, not going to comment on what's going on with GOG right now. Never mind. Moving on. But yeah, their version appears to like have more fixes in it than the Steam version does. The last thing I was going to say, just to acknowledge it with me experiencing problems on it, is just that I did use a replacement executable to make it 60 frames per second, which can mess up the game in certain ways. But like the most notorious areas where it kind of broke the game, like the Star Destroyer level, it did. I think they upgraded the patch so that it would tamp down to 30 FPS so it doesn't break that level.
Yeah. Now, do you think if you had played this game when it came out, you would be less critical of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, a lot of the games that came out in that era were just like this.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
And that's one thing, and I get some crap for this, but I really don't like the phrase like a game hasn't aged well and stuff like that. And obviously J-Chip and Hobo, you've heard me talk about this all the time on stream. Sometimes someone puts a quarter in me and I just go off on this. But like, I think sometimes you just have to put your mindset in the time the game was released. Like, it's unfair to compare it to modern games. Like, obviously things are going to be better. And so I try my best whenever I play a game. And I think part of what makes it easy for me is I play such a wide range of games. You know, I play NES all the way up to Switch 2 and PlayStation 5, right? That's so many different generations that you run into so many different problems that if I can really just focus on the time it came out, it makes me enjoy the games more. Yeah. I know some people who constantly compare games to modern games and they don't like them. I'm like, of course you don't. Like, things are going to be better these days. Like, that's just the way technology works.
Yeah, it's like back then there wasn't like an instruction manual for how to make that stuff work. They were the ones writing the manual. So these new guys, they've had time to explore this more and like learn from the mistakes of the previous stuff. But kind of like you said, if you just put yourself in the mind of someone who played it when it came out, you get used to it and it's still fun.
I agree with you guys to a point, but at the same time, I really only give it like the game hasn't aged well thing when something actively affects the enjoyment of playing it, regardless of era. Which is why, like, I comment on the physics system breaking a lot of stuff. I comment on how the game is designed in a way that makes a lot of things just kind of frustrating to deal with. And I talk about that stuff specifically, even well knowing that was common of the era, because that is true of the whole era. A lot of those games did have those problems, so it aged along with everything else. So it's completely fair to criticize that era of games with stuff that is common in that era. And also, that's really the only... Video games are a very young form of entertainment, but
Yes.
like, I'm thinking now, just because my comparison point is I've watched a ton of old movies now, like the last few years. Like, I've really made a point of it. And I've watched like movies that came out in like the late 1800s at this
Wow.
point.
Oh, wow.
Like, just like the 1 minute silence.
Mhm.
And like you go back to the like absolute beginnings of film, and yes, there are issues that they're figuring out, but like when you just get to like say 1920s, like when you can get kind of just be comfortable, even though it's still silence, but 30s for talkies essentially. But from basically then on, you don't get the same, like, nothing ruins your enjoyment of the movie like in an active way. Nothing like makes it harder for you to watch it, other than some problematic stuff of the era sometimes, but like that's like an element of the story or what they did specifically. But video games are different in that you're obviously interacting with them, so they have a different criteria than most other forms of entertainment. And that's where the aging problem comes in with games, because the things that age are the things that actively prevent you from enjoying it in some way that you are more used to in modern things, or even just of things of that era. It comes into the actual interactivity of it. That's when I feel like it's fair to say something has aged poorly, because it actually has. Like whether they have like whether they were like making stuff up in that era, like, because that was fairly fresh for a Star Wars game at the time. I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but
It's all good.
But at the same time, it's just like it's hard to ignore the stuff that just kind of feels wrong when you go back.
I actually have a counterpoint to that. It's a lot easier to appreciate the stuff we have now if you go back and look at what was like, case in point. I heard someone say he made his son play the Ninja Turtles NES game, saying, if you beat this, I will buy you a PS5. Apparently the son actually did it at some point, and his appreciation was so much greater when he finally sat down to play the PS5.
I will say that's and obviously we all play games for different reasons. Hobo, you know, I have talked about this. I kind of give you a hard time sometimes for playing games on easy mode or assist mode. Like for me personally, it's about the grind and getting better. You know, I want to put the time into a game to get better. And I know not everybody has the time that maybe I have. You know, everybody's life is different. And we're all looking for different things. Some people just want to be entertained. Some people just want like story mode where you just get the beats of the game and can go through it with, you know, stress free. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, it would be nice to not have stress. You know, I could bring up when I was playing Killer Instinct before the podcast, I was getting extremely stressed playing that game because I'm terrible at fighters. But by the time I finished it, and it only took me about an hour, I felt so good that I put the time in and got better at it, even though there were things about the game that weren't perfect. And so I think that plays a part in it as well, is who you are as a gamer, what you look for, why are you playing the games?
Yeah, it's like for me, you're right. I do play on easy mode. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Give me crap all you want. I will continue to do it, because to me, it's just give me a little break from reality, my life's problems. Like, it makes me forget about that stuff. And, you know, it's not that I don't play on the higher difficulties. Like Conan, I beat that game on the highest difficulty setting. Granted, I did use some of the unlocked cheats, but semantic. And yeah, I got really frustrated at times. There were times I almost keyword almost threw my controller. I don't do that, by the way. Yeah, it was mainly just to have that extra stuff, but like I do see the appeal of putting the time, getting better. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I just want to just turn my brain off and just have some fun. But like you said, different lives, different gamers, different wants. That's basically the best way to say it.
Exactly. And I consider you a good friend, Hobo. So obviously everything I say is all in love. I know. Like, you know, if I'm not messing with my friends, then I'm probably not very good friends with you.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm the same way. I completely get it. If I heckle you, it's because I like you.
Exactly.
I'll just chime in on the topic that I think I play this game on normal, and I play games only on normal. I don't really play games on a hard mode unless I have to. I hate where there's games that like you have to play on hard mode to get the real ending. Like at that, you don't even have a difficulty setting. Not saying Star Wars: The Force Unleashed was a hard game on normal because it was honestly not that bad, but To me, I just go with normal, and if you want to play on easy, do what you want to do. That's what makes video games so awesome. You can do it however you want to.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
I will acknowledge that I am taking a far more analytical stance on the game rather than just saying like I'm playing the game for fun. Like when I'm just trying to play a game for fun, I'm playing a game for fun. But when I'm playing a game for like an episode here, I like to like break it down a lot more. Right. So like I can have something more to say on specific elements of it. But just to like summarize like the part on the difficulty for my end, so I don't go on another tangent again, is is there are different kinds of difficulty, and I'm criticizing it for like not things that take skill to overcome, but things that the game makes you overcome because there's a problem with how the game was made.
Right.
Or like in my opinion there was. Like it was just like it comes down to jank. It's my problem with the game is jank.
It's like designed to be difficult versus designed poorly.
Yeah, it's like I don't necessarily think it's designed poorly. I just think okay, yeah, I do think it was designed poorly. I can't really think of another way to say it. But like some of the I don't really blame the devs. A lot of these problems were common of the era. It's just hard to go back to, and I can't ignore when games have like core issues like that, where it's like something just intrudes on the game because of a system rather than this is meant to be this way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a very big difference between a game being difficult because it's designed that way versus a game is difficult because it's like broken or something is messed up. And like, when a game is designed for you to get better to beat it, I'm all for that. When a game is broken and it causes difficulty, that is maddening.
Yeah, explain Battle Nexus.
Oh my god.
Shout out to Ghosts and Goblins.
Nexus. Or Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah.
Or Wind Waker.
While we're talking about difficulty, though, I know JHP brought it up. I also don't think the game is very difficult. I play everything on normal as well, unless I have to beat it on hard to get the best ending. Like Contra 3 is a good example of that on SNES. There's an extra boss fight and a different ending if you beat it on hard mode. So for that, I think it's worth it. But everything else I play in normal mode. And honestly, I didn't really have trouble going through this game until the last mission on the Death Star. Then I thought there was a huge difficulty spike. Now that's for the PS2 version. I don't know how the PC and the PS3 versions were. If JChip and Fitgnat, you guys want to talk on that.
I was just going to say I will abstain from talking about the fight with the Emperor. Go ahead.
It's like, there's more to it. Like, it's like, for example, there's a part where you have to go through this laser that's actively firing. You have to like break the things, but then duck into this little alcove when it's firing. If it hits you, you're dead. And I think that's actually a clever idea. You get to explore the inner workings of the Death Star that the movies didn't do quite as much. But at the same time, it's like, this thing won't break. This thing's coming. I can't get out of the way in time. That's kind of pissing me off a little bit. I mean, kind of like you're saying, if it's broken because they didn't design it right, I can't jive with that. But if it's designed to test my skills and make me work harder for that carrot, then okay, you have something there. But I do like how they handled it differently on different things. Like that laser section I talked about wasn't in the PS2 version that I can recall, but I just specifically remember it. Also, for the final part, when you choose between fighting the Emperor or fighting Ram Koda, it's like in the PS2 version, you just walk to the one you want to fight, the fight starts, and that's it. But like you have to specifically go and stab Vader if you want to fight the Emperor or want to fight Ram Koda, versus you just leave Vader to kind of just gather himself if you want to fight the Emperor type thing. Sorry for the spoilers, guys. Yeah, spoilers.
Don't worry, the game came out in 2008.
Right.
Most people are like adults at that point.
Yeah.
I actually did like that laser run as well. I had some difficulty at the start of it, but that was a me problem because I wasn't like seeing that you could grab those rings that were flying around it. But like once I got it, and that was actually an instance where the game had a fun challenge to it.
Yeah,
I liked that part.
Yeah.
I would say I think my difficulty wasn't the Death Star laser at all. Like I had no issue with that. With the PS2 version, you just kind of like there's like these rooms on either side of where the laser fires, and you just have to cross a bridge to get the other side. So I had no problem with that, but there were some like officers on the Death Star, which they don't really have much protection. So you'd think killing them would be really easy, but they took a ton of hits. There were jetpack people around, and the officers had these blasters that fired really fast. And I just found my health just being drained. I'm pretty sure I died more on the last mission than I did the rest of the game combined.
Yeah.
Like, it was an insane difficulty spike.
I kind of struggled on that one part where like there's this bridge and the force field is in front of you. It's the mission right after spoilers again. Vader betrays you. And you gotta rescue your girlfriend. There's this bridge, and then you gotta go under something. And there's two big robots that are just constantly getting in my way. So I'm just trying to fight my way through it. And I just remember that was just a pain in the ass to get through.
Yeah, that whole level, especially the Star Destroyer part at the end, that one, pretty annoying part. I remember that part. Yeah, gave me some PTSD flashbacks.
Which I do have a question, because I didn't necessarily pay attention to the cutscene, because I saw it in the cutscene after that. He has a blue lightsaber. In the PS2 version, does that happen, or does he always have a red lightsaber?
I believe it switches to blue.
Whatever lightsaber you have equipped at that time, it will change the cutscene to accommodate it, I think. Pretty sure.
I feel like I would have to go back and check, but I feel like at some point I noticed it switched to the blue lightsaber in the cinematics, and then I had the red in gameplay, so I switched it to the blue in gameplay so it would match.
Yeah, I did that too as well.
Yeah,
and
I don't
I
quite
did not
remember. It's been a while since I played
attention.
this, but yeah.
So while we're talking about lightsaber colors, I think there's like 9 or 12 in the PS2 version, different colors you can do. How many were in the PS3 and PC version?
I think there were slightly more, but there's like different patterns to it, like a wavy pattern over the blade. If I remember, I could be misremembering.
I only changed the color the once.
I only changed it to blue, but there was a decent amount. I would say there was definitely more than 9.
Yeah, I felt like I started with, obviously you start with red, but then once I started finding the different crystals throughout the game, as soon as I got purple, I switched to purple and stayed with purple the rest of the game.
Yeah, Mace Windu.
I do think there's a black lightsaber in this one.
Yeah, that's not in
the
PS2
PSP version. And I think that was before they revealed the dark saber.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I can't think of any other instance in that other than dark saber.
Which ironically, Sam Witwer, the voice of Starkiller, voice of Darth Maul,
Yeah, it's kind of ironic.
It's full circle.
Now I wish they had a black one in the PS2 version, because I definitely would have used that.
That would have been badass.
Yeah. Could you guys change your costume in the PS3 and PC version?
Yeah,
Probably.
I actually, when I did turn on the PS3 or Xbox 360 version the other day, and I was wearing like the Jedi robe. So yeah, you can. I think it's just a different method to unlock them.
Yeah, I think it's through the holocrons, isn't it?
Yeah, and then also like you don't get like C-3PO or Jar Jar Binks or whoever to fight as in the high def versions. That I remember. I could be mistaken.
Yeah,
I remember playing levels of C-3PO and just thinking it was the funniest thing ever.
I definitely, once I got the Sith robe costume, that is what I used the rest of the game. Like I thought, I think pretty sure the first time I played the game on Wii, once I got the Sith robe, that I think it's the coolest looking costume or outfit in the game.
Yeah. I also remember the guy's cosplaying as like the costume he wears in the bad ending. And I said, well, I don't want to do the batting. I'm good. He called me like a wuss or something. It was like lighthearted, of course. He wasn't actually criticizing me, but I will admit it. I don't like being mean to these characters, so I want to be a good guy.
No, I presume it's this costume. Okay. I was showing the steelbook of the PS3 version.
That is a sweet steelbook, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
We did have the steelbook for the Force Unleashed 2 in the store, but somebody bought that instead of buying. They were choosing between that and Breath of the Wild. And I sort of told him, like, whichever one you don't buy, I'm going to buy. So he ended up buying the Star Wars one, so then I bought Breath of the Wild. But that's entirely different story. But yeah, so is that the on that steelbook? Is that costume in the game? It's not on the PS2 one.
It should be. It's probably in like the bad ending DLCs, which I didn't get around to playing. But another thing I was going to say about the steelbook is it actually has like it was one of those ones that had like art cards that were like randomly selectable. So I ended up getting the one for Maris Brood in this edition.
nice.
I guess. But at the same time, they also they have a book that's just all the art card art. So it's like,
cool.
why even bother?
Yeah, it's a waste of paper.
All right. Well, I suppose we should probably talk about like kind of the stages and bosses, and this is where the game's really differ based on the version you get. I think generally the story is the same. Obviously, there's a couple different story beats here and there, but I know in both games or both versions you start in Kashyyyk, but on the 360 and PS3 version, and I'm thinking the PC version, it's daytime. Is that correct? Fitgnat is it daytime for the PC? Yep. But in the Wii and PS2, it's nighttime, for whatever reason.
So like in the PS2 version, I think you actually toward the end, like you actually fight a Jedi, and then only after you beat him, you realize, oh shoot, that's your dad. But then when you in the Xbox 360 version, he appears as a ghost in a cutscene, and that's it. And then also like you fight and kill Maris Brood, I think, like the understudy for Shakti. After you beat her, you come back, find her later. But in the Xbox 360 version, you just let her go.
Yeah, I did play a little bit of the PSP version as well, because I have it digitally just randomly. I can't not have a version of this game that I never played, apparently. But yeah, I found that surprising how different it was on that version specifically. Like, it's nighttime, there's a lot of clone troopers, like even like the officer you talk at the beginning is replaced with like a clone commander.
Yeah. So I'm curious why. I mean, obviously the power of a 360 and PS3 is definitely different than a Wii and PS2, but it still surprised me that they changed it so much. There's even some levels later on, like when in the 360 version, I at least got this far. You eventually go to where Starkiller he was killed, wasn't he?
Yeah, kinda.
And he's like he's like getting revived or whatever. And then there's a level where you're in that area. In the PS2 version, it's literally a cutscene and that's it. And then you move on to the next level.
Also, I think there's gonna sound brilliant here. Side tangent, but a similar kind of thing happened with the HD and standard definitions of the Wolverine Origins game, where they based on that movie, because like they kind of follow the same story beats, but they're kind of play out differently. Like it's more like it's hard to explain, but you have more. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's the same. You have different story beats in one versus the other. Like the fight with Victor at the beginning is longer. It's like you chase him around. Like at one point you're on a logging truck fighting him. That wasn't in the movie or the high def version, but it's interesting. Kind of go back and play different versions and see how they handle these things differently. Also, Call of Duty World at War on PS2, completely different than the high def versions.
But yeah, there's a lot of those. It really just comes down to like these versions were just made by different developers. Like the PS3, 360, and PC version is the core version, and then there's different developers on the DS version, and then all the rest of them. Like the PSP, Wii, PS2, all that was the same developer, and with very little changes, I presume. But like it's just always interesting to go like see what different developers decided to do and were allowed to do in terms of making the games different.
Right.
Yeah. So both games have Kashyyyk.
Right.
Then they all have the Nar Shaddaa, the TIE fighter factory.
Right.
Then you go to Raxus Prime. And then is it after that where you get killed?
It's Felucia, and then you get killed.
Okay, so then they both have Felucia, and then that next level is different. So in the PS2 version, you actually go to the Jedi Temple. Do you go to the Jedi Temple in the PS3 version?
No.
Okay, so I think
you don't go to Cloud City either.
Okay, yeah, so you go. Yeah, there's two levels where you go to the Jedi Temple in the PS2 version. Which are fun levels and stuff, but yeah, it's different. It's interesting how they're different and stuff. So there's no Cloud City in the PS3.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there was. No.
Interesting. And then you go to a bunch of the same worlds, but they're like considered Imperial. So there's Imperial Kashyyyk, Imperial Felucia, and Imperial Raxus Prime.
Right.
Yeah, which I thought that was such an odd choice.
But But it's almost like a Sonic CD where it's like bad future versus good future.
Yeah.
Interesting poll, but correct.
I'm always more for like different levels than repeating the same areas. I know obviously the levels are different,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's the same planet. But I'm like, can we find other planets to go to?
It's a
Like-
whole galaxy.
Exactly. Star Wars has a huge library of different planets you can go to, and you keep going to the same ones.
Like you can't just come up with your own planets for this game.
Yeah.
And then finally you got the Death Star. I kind of talk about the bosses. Even those are a little bit different. I believe in the PS3 version, you fight Darth Maul as proxy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so that's not in the PS2 version. So how was that fight, J-Chip?
I mean, it's kind of easy. Honestly, it's not really that difficult, but it's kind of cool that he shows up with the double blade lightsaber.
That is cool.
I think it's only there for just fan service, but it's
Yeah.
cool.
man.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. Like, I know some people get really annoyed with fan service. If it's something I enjoy, like Star Wars, I'm all about the fan service.
I
Like,
agree.
please give it all to me.
Yeah.
Which unrelated, Shadows of Maul, great show.
I need to watch it.
Yeah,
still.
I need to finish that damn thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is different between the bosses. I don't think the PS3 version is Choppa, right? Because you guys don't go to Cloud City.
I don't
No.
think so. No.
Yeah, so
I
he's
don't
like
think so,
he's
no.
a bounty hunter and he's kind of taken over Cloud City, and so you need Lobot's help to find him, and then you fight him. I did like the Rancor fights. I enjoyed fighting the Rancors, but I thought they were more annoying in the 360 version when I played it. Because I think there's a part towards the end of the game where there's like 2 or 3 of them at the same time,
Yeah,
and I just had a really hard time separating myself from them.
they're
Yeah.
an easy way to kill them. Just get in between their legs and just start attacking because they can't hit you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wish
Yeah.
I knew that.
Go straight for
Right.
crotch,
I just kept running away and turning around and hitting with lightning or trying to throw stuff at them.
It's easier if you like lure them to like the beginning part of that hallway,
Mhm.
because obviously if they're multiple around, it's going to be kind of difficult to do that strategy. But I remember dying quite a few times on that part.
Yeah.
I did hear there were some complaints about the game. So there are a lot of quick time events,
Yeah.
especially when you are finishing up a boss fight. How did you guys feel about the quick time events?
Kind of same way with God of War. I feel like I understand the point, but at the same time, it does get annoying to constantly, especially when I was younger, I would choke really bad and hit the wrong button or whatever. But I see the complaint about it, but I also see the appeal to it. And there's also just kind of a side tangent of how to accidentally cheese a boss. Twice I fought Shock T. Both times the stage killed her faster than I did. She kept landing on the exploding things, just ragdolling around, and the stage finished her for me.
That's hilarious.
I even recorded it. I'll have to drop it in the Discord later.
Yeah, I think quick time events are fine. They didn't really bother me. For the boss fights, it never really felt like messing up a quick time event was like a punishment. It's just like they go. It's like they mess up a scene in a movie where they're just like, oh, just do it over again. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically.
they're basically just their quick time events. If you're tired of quick time events, you'll be tired of them here.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, I
like
don't
God
mind
of
quick
War.
time events, and partially it's because God of War is my favorite franchise, so I'm used to them. But also, like, it makes for some really cool endings to fights. Whereas you wouldn't. I mean, yes, they could have just shown it in a cutscene, but I think it means a little bit more when you're just pressing buttons, so it feels like you're a little bit more involved in how the fight ends versus just watching it.
Yeah, that's fair.
What
Yeah.
was everyone's favorite boss
Yeah,
fight in the
good.
game?
My favorite boss fight. Probably with this for PS2, it was the shapeshifter. When I first got there, I think it's. I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it's right after you get away from Vader. I don't quite remember, but like you're going through, you see Juno, and then she attacks you, and then oops, not Juno. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
for the PS3 and Xbox 60 version, gosh, I probably would have to say the Emperor.
The shapeshifter that was at the Jedi Temple, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was Darth
First time you visit.
Phobos, I believe, right? Darth
Yeah.
Phobos, I think. Yeah, because it was a girl. Yeah, that was a fun boss fight.
I don't think
I
I,
really
actually
liked-
have a favorite boss fight.
Yeah, they all kind of run together. They're so
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
One big complaint for me is I felt like fighting with the lightsaber was not super effective in this game.
Yeah.
Like it never worked that well on
That's-
regular enemies, on boss fights. Like I felt like I always had to use my force powers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the common complaint where like lightsabers in video games, they're just kind of just glowing sticks. They're not what they are in the movies.
Yeah.
That made me realize what my least favorite fight was, and I thought it was the Emperor, but then I remembered it's Kazdan Parius.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
It's such an annoying fight.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely better in the PS2 version than the 360 version. I liked Shock T. I thought that was a pretty fun fight.
Yeah.
I really like the Darth Vader fight, and before you fight Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vader's fun one. I hated the Palpatine fight. I did not enjoy that one at all.
Oh man. No,
Yeah.
that was
It got a lot easier when you realized you could just hide behind the computer terminals to get away from his throne crap.
Yeah. And then also there's like one of the Star Wars games on the PC has a cheat where literally you just hack people apart with your lightsaber.
Which is what a lightsaber should do.
Exactly.
But oh well. I will say, so obviously we've talked about spoilers. There are two different endings to this game, light side versus dark side. So for me, I didn't even get a chance to choose just because I was in the mode of fighting that I just happened to press a button super quickly, and I just happened to get the light side ending where Star Killer basically sacrifices himself so his friend, so like Coda and Juno and all that can get away, and then Vader and the Emperor are worried that he's going to be like a martyr and start up a rebellion. Which endings did you guys get?
Light side.
Yeah, light
like
side.
I said, I'm a wuss. I don't want to be.
I
mean.
got the light side as well.
Okay, so nobody did dark side, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to be mean. Like I said, I can't stand the thought of hurting that precious love interest.
I just felt the plot narrative was just heading me like, hey, just go to the light side. You know,
Oh, for sure.
Like it didn't really make sense for me to be like, I'm doing this good thing. Let's just be bad at the end.
Right. Now, Hobo, it seems like you've played the most versions of this. Do you remember what the dark side ending is?
If they're the dark side ending, I actually don't think I've only heard of it. I never actually watched it. What I understand, you destroy the rebellion, and then you take over the galaxy, and then you look all gross or something. I don't remember.
Okay. Something I have to look into then.
I know that like in the Ultimate Sith edition, and that just has the 3 DLC dark side editions, and that's basically just going through, just messing everything up for the original trilogy, I think.
Oh, okay.
And at least
which makes sense.
There's a DLC that I played for Force Unleashed 2. I know that's off topic for this specific one, but it's too fun not to mention that you were going dark side on Endor and you can just punt Ewoks into space.
That's awesome.
And I like Ewoks, but I was like, I'm going to kick as many of these guys as I possibly can because that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's great.
I do got to ask though, which ending is quote unquote canon to the Force Unleashed universe?
Light
Probably
side.
light side.
Light side, yeah.
Okay, so like, how does the sequel happen?
Well, so you play as a clone of Star Killer.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then like, oh, but you can't clone a Jedi. Oh, spoiler for episode or Force Unleashed 2. If you do the dark side ending in Force Unleashed 2, the quote unquote real Star Killer shows up and kills everybody.
Okay.
But you still have to play Force Unleashed 2, J-Ship.
Yeah,
I saw on How Long to Beat It. It's like a 5-hour game, so I should at some point.
Yeah,
that is what I like
that's a lot
about
of the
those older
reasons.
generations. The shorter gameplay is nice.
And also, it's like the Wii version is different from the high def, and I thought the Wii version was a little bit better. I don't remember quite why, but like also just it didn't feel like an RPG. The Xbox version, it felt more like just a hack and slash with an upgrade system, like God of War.
Yeah. It's almost like it was incredibly inspired by something.
I wonder what.
One difference about the games, if I remember correctly, how did you guys get health back in the PS3 version and PC version?
I
Killing
think
things.
they're little green boxes, I think.
So every time you kill something, do you get health back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So in the PS2 version, you had to literally find these little like red vials. They gave you health back. And I think that's what made the ending so much harder for me on that Death Star mission is they all of a sudden were very lean or stingy. That's the word I'm looking for. Very stingy on the health packs because there was like room after room after room of 5 to 6 guys, and they were not giving you health packs. So it would have been nice if you got health back for every kill you did.
That's kind of what I think of an example of arbitrary difficulty. Is kind of how I felt for one of the boss fights in a different game where it's this feast or famine on health packs. And it's like you go to the checkpoint it's more of a save state because it doesn't heal you afterward. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't like it how they just hold back health packs, and that's what makes the game harder.
Of course, the other metric of difficulty is it being on the DS. That just makes it difficult by default. How about this for a plan? We map every single button except for movement and blocking to the touch screen. That'll be
That's terrible.
fantastic.
And then it's just
And-
rock, paper, scissors.
That's the thing. Like, I like the DS, but man, you didn't have to use the touch. Like, Nintendo didn't have to make you use the touchscreen for every game.
And they did learn that later on. Like, not every game is so lenient on it, but the early
Mhm.
DS games, good lord.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass and Spear Tracks, the Zelda games. Like, I actually enjoy those games. But the fact that you have to do combat on the touchscreen is super annoying. It's like you could have just used the buttons.
Yeah, or like moving with the stylus. I never liked that in
Yes.
any game.
Here's the thing. I love the DS. I don't love what certain games did with the DS.
Mhm.
Right.
And this is the
agreed.
case of that, where it's like they used it just to use it, and it didn't really work.
Right.
But like you mentioned Phantom Hourglass, and I would have actually preferred that had you moved with the touch
Mhm.
screen
Yeah.
and did everything else with the buttons. That would have been
Mhm.
a lot more comfortable.
Yes.
Whereas this, it's like you gotta like just flail on the touch screen. Like not even flail, like just flail to get to the right point. Like you're just trying to do fast combat, and it's like, okay, I gotta go the upper middle to do jump, and it's the tiniest button on the screen. And then you do like middle screen for attack, and then there's just arbitrary uses of the force powers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another
It was just such a pain in the
example
ass.
is Diddy Kong Racing. So we did that, I think, last summer for the Cartridge Club.
Yeah, we
I
did, yeah.
love the N64 game, but the DS version is just not good because you have to like blow in the mic and like spin the wheels with your stylus to like get a boost at the start. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like,
And then you have to keep doing it for like the boss races.
it's like you took a good game and made it not so good because you had to force the touchscreen and DS mechanics to the game.
And then like for a Super Mario 64 DS, like a bunch of people hated how that game feels, but I actually got used to it, and I never use a touchscreen in that game if I don't have to. For the mini games, it makes sense. Like pick what card you deal, or like touch this or that. But for gameplay, I play that entire game with button controls, and I got used to it.
Well, before we give our like overall thoughts, I always want to touch on the sound. How did you guys feel about the music and the sound effects in the game?
I think they were very well implemented. It really did feel like it was an actual legitimate Star Wars product, and I'm pretty sure John Williams had passed before this game. I'm pretty sure. I don't quite remember, maybe, but you could tell his charm was in there. Like they either used his stuff or he made new stuff. I don't quite remember. Sorry. May he rest in peace. Great man. But that I really did feel like I was in Star Wars from the sounds of the lightsabers and the music and the blasting. Like they nailed the sound design.
Isn't he still alive?
He is still, he's
Yeah,
still
he's
alive.
still alive.
I was like, wait a minute.
We've gone to a different timeline. Which is this the Legends or canon continuity?
Right. Hobo, if he dies soon, I'm blaming you.
He's old too, so like, man. But no, like the sound it sounded fine. It sounded like Star Wars. I feel like if I ever went blind and I heard someone play this game in the background, I'm like, yep, that's Star Wars right there. The voice acting is, it's pretty good. Sam Witwer is a good voice actor. If you don't recognize his voice in other stuff, he's also Deacon in Days Gone.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So not bad.
Yeah. And in Star Wars, he went on to do Darth Maul and Palpatine and God knows how many other people.
So clearly, like, if he's
Yep.
been involved that much with Star Wars, he's got to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
If this game gave us anything worthwhile, it was Sam Witwer in the Star Wars universe.
I can
As
agree
far
with
as
that.
the other actors and actresses, I didn't recognize anybody else, but that was it.
Yeah, I was happy with the voice acting. I thought they
Yeah.
did a pretty good job. I will say, like, since it's a Star Wars game and LucasArts was part of it, like, if you had messed up the music and the sound effects, that'd be pretty bad. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be really annoyed if all of a sudden a lightsaber doesn't sound like a lightsaber. Like,
Right.
what are you doing?
Yeah, it sounds like those aftermarket lightsabers you get at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Alright,
Although,
well-
now that I think about it, like, if you remember the era of just goofy cheat codes, like the big head mode and all things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like one of the like more modern relatively ones is just like the the grunt birthday party in Halo.
I
love that.
Grand Birthday
But
Party.
you mentioned the lightsaber, and my mind immediately went to like, what if there was a cheat code that changed the lightsaber sounds to the sounds of a rubber chicken? I don't know why that's where my mind went, but it did.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty funny.
That would be for like a little bit, but eventually that'd be extremely annoying.
It would. Yeah, like you'd have
Or
to be able to
every
toggle
time
that
you
pretty fast.
swing lightsaber, Wookiee shouts.
Yeah, Wilhelm scream for everybody.
Yes.
I love the
Nice.
Wilhelm scream, but it would get annoying if you were constantly hearing it. I even have it as my phone notification sound right now.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up before we give our overall thoughts?
No.
Graphically, it's not that great.
I liked when I was playing the 360 version. I thought it looked pretty good graphically.
Yeah, same.
PS2 and Wii are not great.
I'm mainly talking about like the faces of of Star Killer, and all the human faces were just like,
yeah, it's definitely not good.
But it came out in 2008, so I guess I'll give it a pass.
Yeah, that's an element I'll give it a pass for with the era, but at the same time, it's like, man, like when you're confronted with that again, it's like some of those facial expressions are horrifying.
Yeah, Uncanny Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And you know a game could be better if I notice it, but yeah, I thought Star Killer's face in particular was really bad on the PS2 version because normally I don't care too much about graphics, but yeah, I thought especially, and maybe part of it was just going from the 360 to the PS2 in the middle of the month, but it definitely looks significantly worse on the PS2 version.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably, I don't know if they used motion capture for this game, but it was definitely one of the like more early examples of using specific likenesses in it. I appreciate it for that. Like, not to say like there weren't older uses of likenesses. I don't want to discount Jet Li's rise to honor, but but at the same time, that is one of those things you just kind of notice going back. It's not really a plus or a minus; it's just there. But it did affect my ability to be able to tell what the emotional state of a character was in a couple instances.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the Juno and Starkiller introduction thing, like when he does the eye roll thing at the end, I'm like, I have no idea how he feels about this interaction because the face just went in so many different directions that I just don't even know what to land on.
Yeah.
Right.
Although it's good to have range because in the 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, Fiddy's face was basically just somewhere between bored and pissed off until the very last cutscene. And I did not like how they portrayed Fiddy. If that's how he is in real life, I'm not asking for his autograph.
Nice.
I thought Jet Li's rise to honor was a pull. Go ahead with that.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get our overall thoughts. So we're going to go one by one. Just your overall thoughts of the game. Would you play this a game again? And then rate this on a scale of 1 to 5. And again, I do allow halves and quarters, unlike Curtis. So, Hobo, we're going to start with you.
I honestly think that both versions, and I'm most specifically talking about PS2 and PS3 type thing. I haven't really given the DS version much time. I think they're very good games. Like, they're not the greatest Star Wars experiences you're ever going to have. That has to go to Battlefront. I'm sorry. But I think they're fun games for hack and slash. And I think that they try to do something fun, and where it succeeds well, but where it fails hard. And I would play these games again, probably. I would probably pick them up again, and maybe, if I have a friend to sit down and show it to them, that's might be one I choose. I give the game a 4.5 out of 5. Then again, I'm the bargain hobo. Make of that what you will.
Awesome. Fitgnat, what about you?
I will be kinder in my final assessment than I have been through most of this podcast, but I appreciate the ambition of it. It's just it wasn't as good as it could have been, but I like the characters. I like the gameplay most of the time. But most of my disappointment is just I can see the potential in it and I just wish it was better. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to kind of do the same thing I did, I think, for Fallen Order, where that jank did play in with Fallen Order, but where I have to give it kind of a ranged ranking, where I will give it a 2.5 when it's just jank city and a 3 in overall, just because like it's good, but there's nothing like particular special about it going back now.
That's fair.
Yeah. And J Chip,
it's not a bad game by any means. If someone asked me like, hey, should I play this game? I'll be like, I mean, I'd rather just have you play the Jedi games, but the Force Unleashed, the first one is not bad. I would give it like a 2.5 to a 3 out of 5. Like, it's not bad. Would I ever play it again? Probably not. I don't regret playing it. Like, it happened. It's not a bad game. It didn't offend me. It was just kind of okay.
Nice. And for me, it's kind of weird just because I played half of one version and then finished another version. I will say I enjoyed playing the PS2 version more. I felt like Starkiller felt more of a badass from the beginning. It almost felt like you had more powers to start with, whereas the 360 it was taking longer to get those powers and to use them effectively. And I was having a lot of fun, but that last mission really pissed me off. I was so annoyed when you go 95% of a way through a game and you're not having any issues, and then all of a sudden you die more in one stage and the rest of the game combined. That is a problem. And it shouldn't happen, in my opinion. I think this game was very well received early on. I think history has not necessarily been the kindest to it, especially if you've played Fallen Order and Survivor, because those games are fantastic. But like Fitgnat said, we don't have those games unless Force Unleashed came first.
Right.
So it's important in the history of Star Wars games. So I would probably have to give it a 3. I will play it again because I need to finish the 360 version or play through the PS3 version. And honestly, I'll probably play through the DS version, even though it sounds terrible. And I'll probably play the PSP version at some point. I like to play as many versions of a game as I can, especially since I overall like the game. It could have been better.
All right, now, so I have a final follow-up question. Someone held a gun to your head and said you had to play through one version again. Would it be HD or SD, standard edition, standard definition, or high definition?
HD.
Same.
HD.
I mean,
HD, just because I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played the PS2 version enough to say like how I'd feel about that one, but like on the whole, I'd just choose the PS3 one. Mm-hmm. If the choice was to play the DS version or get shot, I think I know what I'd choose.
That bad, huh, Fitgnat?
Damn.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. Well, now I really got to play because I am interested in hearing about this. Now, I don't know. I was really excited to play Diddy Kong Racing 64. Or sorry, not 64, but DS version. And I really regret that. So I'm sure I'll regret saying I want to play the Force Unleashed on the DS. But I got to get to it eventually.
Oh, I joke, but I'm going to play that thing. I'm in a personal war with this thing, just out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Are there any games you would recommend to someone if they did like Force Unleashed or something that's similar to Force Unleashed?
Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine. But I would say, unfortunately, the high def version is kind of expensive now. But if you can find it like $3 at a pawn shop, don't even think, play it. That is like one of my all-time favorite games, period. And that is actually a very difficult thing for me to say. So yeah, the Wolverine games, especially since that new one's coming out, ironically, on my mom's birthday, and she hates those kinds of games. But yeah, Wolverine.
Yeah, I'd like if you're looking for another licensed God of War clone, Wolverine is one of the better choices you can make. But in terms of Star Wars, I am just going to go for the obvious of Fallen Order. It's the successor of it, and it is a much better game.
I was thinking like, I want to go like within like its era rather than just be like, go play the Jedi games because they're just so much better. Devil May Cry 4 is a hack and slash game. I would say that. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, that's a pretty solid hack and slash game. The Castlevania PS3 games, at least the only one I played is the first one. Those would be my recommendations.
Okay. And I have to go with an obvious one as well, and that's Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. Now, again, I don't quite remember it completely, but I do remember thinking I felt very much like a badass playing that. And it looks way better than the PS2 and the Wii versions. So I really enjoyed playing the 360 Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. Just with all the powers that you have and stuff. I think that was the big selling point for these games when they came out. It's just how cool it looks. I mean, even on the box for the 360, like there's literally the picture of him taking down the Star Destroyer, which is pretty badass if they had done it a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
Although, if you are interested in playing the Xbox 360 versions, those are backwards compatible on Xbox One, and you can just buy them straight from there. So I would say go that route.
nice.
Honestly, that's the most well-rounded way to play them if you've got like a modern Xbox, which that's going to get less and less common. But yeah, like of the console versions, I'd say the upgraded 360 version is probably the most balanced way to play it.
Awesome. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Cartridge Club Game of the Month podcast. So some upcoming games of the month. Currently here in June, the Cartridge Club is playing Killer Instinct. So you can play any game in the Killer Instinct series. And then July, we are playing Lunar Silver Star Story. So sorry, J-Chip, I know you just played it, but you should play it again.
I thought that was coming up. I am so looking forward to playing that again.
Yeah. It was a massive coincidence because cheap plug, I'm doing my own podcast and we're doing an episode of Lunar as well. So look forward to that, I guess.
Nice. Did you play the PlayStation version or the remastered version?
Which comes with the classic and the remastered.
Got it.
The remastered, though, comes with the classic edition, though.
Okay, perfect. Sweet. Awesome. And then August will be the Patreon vote. So we obviously don't know what that will be until we get a little bit closer to August.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I know which one it'll be, and it's not the one I voted for. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
That's right. You are a Patreon, so you've already made your vote.
I also made my vote, and it's not the one I picked. That's winning.
Well, I can't wait
we
to
will
hear.
both be suffering together.
Can't wait to hear what ends up happening. Hey, everybody. Captain Algebra here, and we got some breaking news. Just after I finished recording the podcast, Rocket Sauce sent me a message, and we know August game of the month is going to be Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. So again, if you'd like to get involved with the club, I'd encourage you to follow us on Twitter/X at Cartridge Club NA. You can also visit our Discord for all kinds of discussion about past, present, and future games of the month. To those of you interested in supporting the club beyond a review on the podcast app of your choice, I'd like to mention that the club is entirely funded by pledges made from members of our community. We are extremely grateful to those supporters, and if you're interested in becoming one of them, please look into how you can do it at patreon.com/Cartridge Club. All right, let's kind of plug ourselves. Where can we find you on the interwebs? Fitgnat.
I do nothing, so I am on Bluesky and the Discord.
Yes. And J-Chip.
You can find me on YouTube at J-Chip Show. I do a lot of anime reviews, game reviews, and you might see Cap and Hobo on my channel because we've collabed together.
Heck yeah. And you mentioned that podcast. How long have you been doing the podcast for?
We've only had one episode. We did the Metal Gear Solid episode, and we're going to be doing the Lunar one. And then after Lunar is Banjo-Kazooie, so look forward to that.
Yes.
Nice. Awesome.
It's not a monthly podcast. It's whenever we feel like it podcast.
Hey, that works.
Fair enough.
And Hobo, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube under the same name, and you also find J-Chip on my channel, probably Cap 2. I can't quite remember. I think you've been on my channel at least once.
I think so.
I'm also on, I had Twitter, and then I got rid of it, and so I have Bluesky. Yeah, and I also have my own Discord server. I can link that if anyone wants to join that. Yeah, so basically same as everybody else. I'm boring and vanilla.
You are the bargain bin.
Hobo, you are responsible for this game, 102 Dalmatians on the Dreamcast.
You're welcome.
Nice. And I'm Captain Algebra. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Bluesky. I've got a YouTube channel. I'm pretty I'm in the Discord quite a bit for the Cartridge Club. I got my own Discord. I'm in J-Chip's Discord. I'm in Hobo's Discord. I'm all over the place. But yeah,
we can never get rid of you.
That's true. You can never get rid of me. Even though I take hiatuses, I always come back. All right. Well, then to everyone listening, we look forward to hearing from all of you soon. Thank you for joining us. CC Unite.